Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're looking at a fundamental flaw in how businesses actually sell to us. The hard truth is, most business guarantees are completely fake. Sure, they look safe and they definitely sound fair, but when you look closely, the seller is risking almost nothing. Listen, a standard refund alone just isn't enough anymore. A real guarantee has to create a real seller-side consequence when the promised value is missing. So today we're going to explore what genuine accountability looks like and what actually comes after refunds.
To get there, we'll walk through the gap between marketing theater and business reality. Then we'll unpack the 5 lies buyers are trained to believe and give you a simple 60-second test to spot fake guarantees on the fly. After that, we'll dive straight into the mechanics of refunds versus penalties, introduce a concept called the negative price, and finish up with the -1 diagnostic.
Let's start right at the foundation, separating marketing theater from business reality.
This distinction is absolutely crucial, so we're not going to rush it. Marketing theater simply means the guarantee looks really reassuring, but it changes absolutely nothing for the seller. It's basically just window dressing, designed to make you, the buyer, feel safe enough to swipe your credit card. Business reality, on the other hand, means the seller actually accepts a very real consequence when the value is missing. Think about it. If the absolute worst-case scenario for a seller is just giving back money they didn't even earn, they aren't facing any true risk. It's nothing more than an illusion of safety.
And to maintain that cozy illusion, the industry relies heavily on 5 distinct lies. Let's break them down.
The first lie we hear all the time is that a guarantee is about the customer. It really isn't. The truth is quite different. A real guarantee is actually about the seller taking risk. You see, a guarantee exists to prove the seller's absolute belief in their own offer. If a seller doesn't feel any financial pain when their product completely fails, well, that guarantee is fundamentally weak by design.
The second lie is the idea that a longer guarantee is always a stronger guarantee. But the truth is, strength isn't about time. Strength is about who actually pays when the product fails. A 30-day guarantee with 0 penalty? That's fake. A 1-year guarantee that traps you in endless paperwork and is practically impossible to claim? Also fake. True strength only comes from the seller bleeding a little when they fail to deliver value, completely regardless of the time frame.
Then we have the third lie, which claims that simply refunding the money is the penalty. The truth here is that a refund is literally the bare minimum. It just resets the buyer back to 0. A true penalty means the seller actually pays extra. Giving money back is really just returning what was never truly yours to begin with if the value wasn't delivered. A penalty means the seller actually loses something of their own.
The fourth lie suggests that if a guarantee is an industry standard, it must be legitimate, right? Well, the truth is, standard usually just means copied. If a guarantee looks exactly like what every other competitor in your market is offering, it lacks any obvious differentiation. You don't have a guarantee, you just have a copy of what everyone else is doing.
And the fifth and final lie is that a truly good product doesn't even need a guarantee. The truth is, in a market absolutely flooded with wild claims, having no guarantee just feels like having 0 accountability. Expecting a buyer to basically pay first and just hope for the best quietly pushes the most serious buyers away.
So if these standard guarantees are just filled with lies, how do you evaluate an offer quickly? You use what we call the 60-second test.
You don't need a law degree to read the fine print. You just need to ask 5 simple questions. First, is there a real penalty for the seller? Second, does this guarantee create obvious differentiation from their competitors? Third, is it presented loud and clear up front, before the sale, rather than hidden away as damage control? Fourth, is the seller clearly taking the risk without forcing you, the customer, to fight tooth and nail for it? And fifth, is it simple enough to understand in just one read? Real guarantees are simple trust engines. The fake ones are the ones that require lawyers.
To really understand how this works in practice, we need to look at the exact mechanics of risk, refund versus penalty.
The mechanics here are so simple, but they are absolutely critical. A refund simply means money back. The buyer gets their initial payment returned. Now, a penalty means the seller pays extra. They lose more than just that transaction amount. And a negative price? That combines both. You get the refund plus a consequence for the seller. This is the exact mechanical difference between simply returning funds and facing true, hard business accountability.
Which brings us to the ultimate form of business accountability, the negative price.
What you're seeing here is a symbol of an ultra guarantee, the -1. It's a visual hammer for a completely new standard. This is a standard where businesses finally stop gambling with the customer's trust and instead they start selling absolute proof.
Let's define this clearly so there is no confusion.
Negative price is what comes after refunds. When value is missing, the seller doesn't just quietly return the money. No, the seller pays a penalty. This means the seller is willing to be judged strictly on their results, and they fully accept the financial cost of their own failure. It is quite literally the end of empty promises.
So, if you're ready to implement this kind of extreme accountability, it's time for the -1 diagnostic. If you want to test a negative price ultra guarantee in your own business, apply for the -1 diagnostic at negbook.com/negative-price-standard. The link is also right there in the description below. It's time to stop paying for promises and start paying for proof. Because the real question is, does your business have the confidence to actually stand behind what it sells?